probably take out Azir against him before I take out that LeBlanc.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially because we know GBM is quite a skilled LeBlanc himself.
Well, we'll see what the last ban is going to be for Jin Air. That Gnar banned second, so they've got some other options.
Janna
wouldn't be bad.
be coming in right here. And
Lulu.
the Lulu.
Okay.
But I'm a bit surprised by that because, again, another champion that GBM has been very good on.
I would imagine the Janna first pick is going to be what we would see here from KT.
Interesting that KT would ban the Cassian as well, considering that they place such a heavy priority on it in their last draft. So Lissandra will be snapped up here by KT Rolster, and there's the Ahri. If any team was going to prioritize this Ahri, I would expect it to be Jin Air. This is a champion, or perhaps Najin. We are on patch 5.2. Ahri definitely first round pick worthy.
Yeah.
We've seen teams around the world kind of realize that she is way up there in terms of priority at the moment, and I think this is a smart draft from Jin Air. Jarvan and Janna will be taken on the other side. Now, Cassandra will have to lock down this Ahri in as much as they are capable of the Morgana. Oh, man.
Yeah, still available, and I would imagine that's going to go to top lane for Trace. Usually when Jin Air has the opportunity, that's where they'll send it.
I love the way Jin Air plays. I mean, they've got these weird pocket picks that they can consistently pull out, especially that Morgana will be a threat up against the Lissandra because the Black Shield can nullify the ultimate if you get it onto GBM. So even as a support pickup right here, it's going to be very strong. And so, yeah, locking that in for the team fighting. Now there's really nothing that can stop the Ahri.
Yep.
So I think I actually would have taken the Morgana even over the Janna in terms of KT Rolster's draft. They're going to finish things out with Sivir and with Rumble.
All right. And so Che maybe just going ahead and locking in this Nami. Nice amount of disengage there.
Yeah, so it looks like we will be playing a more pick and poke comp this time from Jin Air with a lot of kiting. The new Ahri will work beautifully in terms of their kiting. Oh!
Yeah, Thresh is fine too here. A little bit more pick.
I would take the Nami personally, actually, just because you can kite really well due to the speed boost from Orb of Deception right now. So I think that would be a little bit stronger, but then again, you can also just always chain the hook straight into a charm or vice versa. So either's fine.
Well, between Morgana and Thresh, they have a lot of ways to help GBM land those charms too. So picks will be coming fast and furious. And will he switch it back at the last minute? Doesn't look like it. Nope, locked in. And so it'll be Thresh in the end.
The reason why I would like Nami better here is just because of the composition that KT is running. With that Sivir ult, they are such heavy engage that you could really punish them running straight at you a little bit better with the Tidal Wave. Of course, the box will do some work as well, but Tidal Wave, I think, would have been a bit superior in this instance. But they also have, and especially because there's a spell shield on Sivir as well in lane, so you can only really hook the Janna.
I think you really can't blame Jin Air as well, too, for taking something that kind of says, all right, well, we think we can probably get a decent lead in the early game as well. We can get a few more aggressive picks. We don't need to play as safe. And with how KT's been kind of performing in the early game, it's hard to argue with that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they do have a very strong engage. They do have a very strong mid game here. Certainly, KT has a lot of very powerful picks, and again, they make it through the draft with a very strong team composition, but of course priority has changed up a little bit. I'm glad to see Trey still playing that top lane in Morgana. He is undefeated on it so far, 3-0 when teams have given over that pick. But what do you do against Jin Air right now? If you ban out the Xerath, then they play kite or pick compositions. If you give them the Xerath, then you just lose. So,
well, we'll see if KT just loses or if they're able to take game number one and make things interesting. Let's get in the game and find out. Captain Jack looking stoic after the pillow fight. And here we go. KT Rolster versus the Jin Air Green Wings. Welcome once again to Summoner's Rift. GBM on that new and, dare I say, improved Ahri here in patch 5.2.
Very strong pickup.
Yeah.
We've seen teams like TSM prioritize this Ahri very highly, picking it up as first pick on blue side, and really paying dividends. If you have a good Ahri player, it does make things quite compelling.
Paying dividends on my fantasy LCS team, too. Oh, Hachani! What? First blood goes to Pilot already. Well,
that was actually some pretty intense cheese right there.
I guess so, yeah.
Jinair sending their top laner into the bottom brush.
I just feel bad
alongside
for Hachani.
Thresh. I mean,
I just feel bad for Hachani now.
Yeah,
that poor kid.
That was some cheese.
Massive disrespect from Jinair.
Well, it did force, I think, the binding to be taken first. I mean, what are you going to do right there, honestly? Like, oh, man. There's just
hope.
There's nothing. I mean, it was smart not to flash, honestly.
He didn't use any summoners. He knew that he wasn't going to get away anyway. So it does allow Pilot to start out with the longsword.
That is brutal because you use, when you have this Sivir pickup, you hope to bully 1 through 5.
Yeah.
And now they're going to actually lane swap right here, instead of taking the advantage that they would have had in that lane.
I can't really argue with this decision. It's going to be a bit safer, but, it is just another edge for Jinair.
I don't think Jinair will be too upset by this. They do see Arrow starting to freeze the wave up in the top side.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we see, KT responding with a little cheese of their own here coming in.
Yeah, well,
3-man invading. After
there. Well, Trace
only doesn't have black shield, so they have to be careful. They're going to try and catch him in a pincher right now.
Here comes Someday. Chaser needs to be careful here. They do some damage to Hachani. Yeah, they're just going to have to give this red buff up, and that does slow down Chaser a bit.
Yeah, it's not going to be too bad, and Trace still going to be harassing here with the
going to try to go for the steal, and
no.
That was a smart idea though, to go for the dark binding, try to go in and auto it. Not a bad idea.
Quite work out, and instead, the reaction from Che will be just to walk alongside Chaser. 2 enemy red buff, make sure Chaser gets that buff. And so in the end, not much of an advantage gained there from KT Rolster. We see win rate.
GBM, 75% win rate on that Ahri.
He's been doing quite well overall on that champion.
Yeah.
Impressive performance. And Trace is
well, Trace coming in, and they got the flash from Nagne. Nice escape. But there's the death sentence. GBM flashes for the charm. There's the exhaust, and this is going to be potentially, not a kill, as Hachani comes in with the shield. That was close, but KT managed to keep their mid laner alive. Man, if GBM had gotten a kill there, that would have been really even worse.
Playing really far up right there. Both mid laners burned the flash, but other than that, not too big of a deal. GBM has taken cleanse for the Lissandra matchup, so will be extremely difficult to lock down. As a result, GBM is going to go back right now and try and pick up a Doran's ring to help him out, starting with that flask, of course. And Chaser and Trace will be doing a little more double jungling. Rumble down on the bottom side is able to hit that level 2 before Trace is, but Trace will pick up that level, and then it's like he'll try and head back into lane. Freeze is still going for KT, so he may need a little help breaking it up in the top side. Teleport.
Yeah, we'll see how well the Tormented Soil does. Tormented Soil.
Now, usually when KT play Morgana, they really like to press up. They use the Tormented Soil to quickly push minion waves and then chip away at the tower, but I haven't really seen too much of the Morgana in a lane swap situation. We'll see how it does in this instance. I imagine it'll be quite fine. And
how do you torment Soil anyway? You just like tell it, Soil, you're worthless. You can't even grow plants.
It really is a terrible name for an ability, isn't it? Couldn't they just have called it like Black Puddle, which is really what it is?
Deadly pudding.
Acid Puddle.
Acid Puddle. There you go. That sounds more like a Kog'Maw thing, though. Tormented Soil. Yep. Don't get any of that for your Darth. Nothing is going to turn out right. That's what they must have used for like the little pet shop of horrors or whatever. Little shop of horrors. Yep. A couple bags of tormented soil. Some man-eating plants. Ooh, death sentence. Not quite connect with. Someday he's gonna return fire. Literally get it. Return fire.
You're terrible.
I know. That was some tormented soil of a joke there. Chaser taking some solace in his pink ward, and there we go. Oh, not able to quite clear anything out.
Find the ward.
Oh,
you found it, Chaser.
He doesn't need vision for that one though, or special
no, he
vision.
doesn't.
Well, at least he doesn't need vision for anything technically.
I really wish that didn't proc on pink ward.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I've thought of that before, but yeah.
Can be annoying. Of course, it lets you know the pink ward is there, but sometimes you feel like you wasted it, especially if you know that the pink ward is there in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, Trace trying to get a little bit more CS up in the top lane.
Chaser
Here
coming
comes
around.
Chaser.
Not going to find much. The ward in the tri-brush. Otherwise, let's just back to farming some lanes.
Yep. Sandra just shouting in the mid lane. See if Che can get another death sentence. His pink ward is actually useful because it pulls KT forward a little bit potentially, but nope, not quite taking the bait, not with that ward and try, showing them that Chaser is around.
Yeah, we do see GBM just playing some tricks with the Fog of War right there, constantly hopping in and out of Nagne's vision in the mid lane to simulate some potential roaming right here, and actually Score looking to steal some Raptors away. Well, we do see Chaser complete the same task on the opposite side of the map. Violet now once again left to his own devices as he gets level 6. A little bit of warding in the river coming in from Che.
Big wave push into the turret here by Pilot. GBM keeping up on CS admirably as well too. So aside from that crazy level 1, pretty standard stuff so far in the game. Just a lane swap, people trying to get some farm done.
Yeah, not too much to say at this stage.
Yeah.
I really do like the way that Jin Air had a plan to deal with the Lysandra, though. You could tell that with the Morgana up and the Ahri with Cleanse, they already knew exactly how they were going to deal with the first pick Lysandra. And if the first pick Lysandra wasn't taken, they had an opportunity to grab it themselves and maybe run like Ahri Lysandra or something like that.
Wow, that would have been crazy. Tormented soil. Look out.
A little bit of help for Chaser right there. Yep. Wait for the minion wave. Play it nice and safe up in the top side before heading back to make sure you get a couple of these creeps right here. Yeah.
Oh, Johnny going for a whirlwind to maybe set something up for Nagne, but not connecting with gank by Mom.
Nagne actually jumping out to a bit of a CS advantage right here.
Yeah, a little bit.
In spite of the shorter range on this Lysandra.
I think GBM's, you know, he's been under a bit of pressure from gank, so I think he's just kind of playing it a bit safer. He knows he's the big target, you know?
Well, it's going to be very difficult to lock him down this game.
Yeah.
With the Black Shield, with the Cleanse, really, how are you going to be targeting much of anything?
Yep.
And the double AP against the Black Shield, too. We've seen Trace, once he starts getting some items, having just a ridiculous amount.
And that Black Shield gets huge.
Yeah, it gets so big.
Yeah.
He's going to be building, looks like, an Abyssal Scepter first, which has been typical of his play against other AP top laners, and now that they are in the 1v1, as you can see, the lane swap is kind of normalizing right now, and so he doesn't have to build any armor for being up against the AD carry. Instead, he will be quite efficient with that Null Magic Mantle instead. Yep.
And Lysandra making the sounds that Lysandra does.
Korean Lysandra's the best.
Wow.
All right, Chaser looking for a gank right here. He's
Oh,
going
that's
to
a
get
Q.
on to Arrow, except not because of Spell Shield.
Yep. Thanks for the mana, bro.
Gank attempt, the opposite side of the map. Score. They end up giving up a dragon here, though, if he's not careful.
Yeah, as soon as they see him, it's going to be really easy for the rest of Jin Air to collapse onto the dragon.
Yeah, it makes this attempt really important, but, you know, with that Soul Shackle and the Black Shield, it doesn't doesn't seem very likely that they're going to be able to kill the Morgana, in fact.
Oh. Well, you know, you got to try. She's got full mana anyway, so whatever. There we go. Trace flashes away. The equalizer didn't really hit him. I think it barely brushed him.
I think that gank had a very low likelihood of success.
Yeah.
With all the summoners up, Black Shield, and the Soul Shackles, making Morgana one of the more difficult champions to dive because you can't crowd control her, and she just waits for you to get rooted underneath that turret. Trace is going to go back. He has his TP up and available, and they're not going to go for the dragon, though.
No,
enough pressure on the bottom side. They're going to try and turn this one around, actually. Interesting choice.
The Chaser was already going up to the top of the map when that gank started, and so Jin-Air kind of already decided not to do the dragon, I suppose.
Very interesting choice right there. Ooh, GBM showing his hand a little bit. I think he roamed up a little bit too early. They do have a reward right there, and it scared Someday. I think that had he not moved out of the mid lane quite so early, they may have been able to get Chaser in there and on top of the Rumble, but not going to happen this time around. So a little bit, I think, over-eager map movement right there from Jin-Air, telegraphing their thought process just a little bit. And now we have a Lysandra in the river looking for a play and coming in from
risky.
behind.
Pilot and Jay, they have to get out of here. Pilot hasn't used his Valkyrie yet. Oh, Nagne came over the wall but couldn't lock Pilot down. I really felt like he was in range.
Trace was right there with the teleport, though. But Someday continues to press forward. Now, are they going to go for the dragon? No, Trace actually just returning up to the top side. Doesn't want to give up his tower early. And, you know, I actually kind of agree with this because when we talk about dragons versus towers and we look at KT's composition, they're going to spike in the mid game with Rumble and Lysandra. Of course, the longer the game goes on, when you do have double AP, you can't be itemized against. Of course, the same thing true of Jin-Air, especially with Corki doing a lot of his damage as magic damage with his rockets. But even so, the gold a lot more meaningful to KT early on with Lysandra and Rumble. And eventually with QSS, with Zhonya's Hourglasses, this Lysandra Rumble combo is not going to be too effective. Meanwhile, Jin-Air will continue to put out more consistent DPS over the course of a team fight.
GBM hiding in plain sight.
That's a really good ward, actually.
Yeah.
For an RA. That's actually very clever. It's not something we see very often, but forward enough just so we can see if GBM is hiding right there around the lip, and so we can know exactly whether Ari is roaming or not. I really like that. Score is here. There's an ult.
Oh, wow. Trace just ults onto Someday. There's the equalizer. Score coming in from behind. Gets exhausted. It looks like they will take out Shay. Jin-Air on the run now. That was a bit of a surprising gank attempt. They had GBM on the way, but I felt like that one was overreaching a bit.
Well, that was a really good turnaround from Score right there, actually. Great patience.
Chaser in trouble as well. The ult from Nagne helps lock him down and a kill for Score.
Really,
wow.
Really good patience and counter gank from Score.
Yeah.
Waiting. And Someday providing some good bait right there. Let's take a look at that one again. I mean, we see Trace, he wants to actually set up a hook right here, which is why he gets the slowdown, but Shay finds himself in turret range, knocked up and stuck in the Cataclysm. And then Chaser, instead of walking the safe way out, GBM turns around. So this is a bit of miscommunication, actually. But coming right there to try and take out the pink ward, and Chaser not respecting the fact that Nagne can't be seen on the map. It could very easily be right over that lip, comes in using the E on Lysandra, so overconfidence right there from Chaser that he could take out the pink ward, gets baited, and then killed. And there's a tower down now in favor of KT Rolster as they jump out to their first gold lead of the game.
Just like that. KT certainly playing it a little bit better in the early game than we've seen in the past couple matches.
Yeah, Trace going for the Lucidity boots first, really wants to push hard. Get that Tormented Soil up as frequently as possible, and GBM coming with the Negatron Cloak. Trying to build into the Abyssal, but Nagne already done with that Morello Nomicon.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit worrisome for Jin-Air, actually.
One of the kills did go on to Score, so that's going to be less impactful than it might be otherwise, but he will be able to outduel Chaser at the moment. Having completed that warrior enchantment, Chaser still on his way. Not having that kill or assist. Score has managed to pick up so far. There's the completed Abyssal Scepter for Ahri. Nagne continuing just to put damage down onto the mid lane tower.
Yeah, so far KT able to get a lot of pressure done in the early game, but it's all about, you know, that magical 20-minute mark, it seems like, for KT, where things just keep falling apart consistently. Have they finally broken through that? Looks like the Dragon's going to go potentially to Jin Air here. We'll see if KT can stop them. Score coming in, dropping his own ward down. Looks like Jin Air's going to try to finish it off. Teleport coming in. Can Score take it? It does go to Jin Air. Chaser in the backlines. Huge ult comes in from Nagne. Nice equalizer as well. Meanwhile, GBM and Trace find Someday. Get pushed away by Hachani though. Chaser does go down, but a kill comes in for Trace as well. I mean, for Pilot.
Nice
Whoa.
from GBM.
There's
Good dash in with the Orb of Deception. Man, GBM's Ahri is so good to watch. I mean, we've seen it time and time again this season, even before these Ahri buffs, how much of a threat he can be on the periphery, seemingly knowing exactly when it's safe for him to go in to a team fight or not. Didn't even have to burn a summoner right there.
Well, he waited a long time, too.
Very, very well done by GBM.
Yep.
Continues to impress. Also, chunked out Someday, forced Someday's flash, and he had to flash right into Pilot, who just autoed him to his doom.
Yeah, so that means the gold lead pretty much negated now for KT. It's pretty even up.
Yeah, not to mention, of course, the Dragon going over. The fact that Jin Air got a Dragon at 17 minutes with the mid-game comp that KT has is pretty disastrous, actually, because this is where KT needs to be building their lead. So we do see, there's the ult down onto Pilot. Someday's going to be in. Now look at GBM. Black Shield working with Trace beautifully right there, and Someday has to flash out, gets hit by Pilot. But look at this read from GBM. Nice dash over the wall, very patient Ahri play, and good team fighting synergy between him and Trace allow them to pick up a couple of kills, losing one themselves, but also gaining a Dragon.
Well, the kills are really going to the quote-unquote right people on Jin Air as well, too. 2 for Pilot, 1 for GBM. GBM gets the finish at Abyssal Scepter. Pilot on that power spike as well. So now the question is, you know, can Jin Air turn this into a couple turrets?
Right. I mean, they can be patient here, though, too. Of course, again, the Zhonyas and QSS are going to do so much work against KT Rolster that they can pretty much just wait till the late game when they are able to QSS the Lissandra ultimate, or, you know, obviously with the cleanse, they don't really, GBM doesn't need that, will be helpful for Pilot. GBM with the Zhonyas, however, can get in and wait for the Rumble ult equalizer to pass. Yeah. Trace the same thing, going in, can equalize, just stand on top of the equalizer with the Zhonya's active and his ult on.
Huh, it's a little bit bizarre. It almost looks like Trace is building an Abyssal Scepter as well with those items. I would assume that's what he's going for.
Yeah, just wants the extra magic resist against the double AP. So
it's okay to stack the passives like that?
I mean, it's not optimal, but that way if somebody gets blown up, you actually still have that,
I suppose,
aura going on. But really, it's mostly for the efficiency of the item. It gives you AP and MR, which are really what you need this game.
True enough. So tiny bit of damage to that mid lane turret.
But bot lane will fall in favor of Jin Air as they come right back into this one.
Yep. Now mid lane rotation for Jin Air and KT. Is there anything they can do?
Yeah, they want to abuse. They really want to abuse the relatively low range of KT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hachani. Oh, that was close.
Yeah. Doing too much this time around. Pilot and Chaser looking for a red buff steal right here. They're going to find it. Now, can they get out? Chaser is going to run right into score. Man, he had a ward
there's a knock-up as well. Chaser needs to get out of there, but he can't. He walked right into that one. I don't know.
Chaser
not able to grab the
not having a great game this time around. He overcommitted to killing that pink ward, and I mean, he saw Score. I think he saw Score walking into the brush with that ward. So
he should have. I mean, I suppose maybe he just missed it. They're going to lose the turret as well from that one.
Wow, Chaser's map awareness is usually much better than it is right now. I'm a bit surprised. He's
definitely a bit of a misstep.
He's been causing some issues this game, getting picked off. Reminds me of Chase play from a couple weeks ago. Normally so consistent, so solid, and then face checking the wrong brushes a couple of times, costing them that series really against Incredible Miracle.
Yeah, Chaser is certainly helping KT stay in this one. But Dragon is up in about a minute 20 again. And we'll see if Jin Air can win another decisive fight.
Well, they're still going to be down some key items. Jin Air may just want to give up this next Dragon and start playing for the late game once they have a couple core items under their belt. Not really necessary for them to take it. In fact, they could just trade it for top tower if Rumble does go down, or if they can force him down there. That said, they still have very good poke with Pilot and Ahri, GBM's Ahri. So Corki Ahri should be able to do some work. They can play the periphery until they force KT off the objective if necessary. And try and make a play on the Rumble, though.
I don't think he's going to be coming up that far unless they might be thinking about diving.
Oh, they can definitely dive him right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the decision ends up being right here. GBM trying to get lucky with his charms, but there are no lucky charms here, Doa.
That's right.
He is always after those lucky charms, but not today.
His charms are magically disgusting, man. Nothing delicious about those. Crazy. Oh, Pilot.
Yeah, they're trying to zone him off the turret, but he is going to be able to clear out this minion wave now that the Flag and Drag is down. Not really a threat. Arrow absorbing those rockets with the spell shield. Now the Scuttle Crab looks like it will go in favor of Jin Air.
Yeah, they really seem to want to contest this Dragon anyway. We'll see if they sweep the pit.
KT got some wards up right there, but they tried to, I think, be overly aggressive on that tower instead of actually setting up vision, and now they've lost control of it. They lost their positioning right there due to coming behind the tower.
Oh, charm from GBM nearly connected to score.
That was a bad call.
Guess what?
KT.
Guess what time it is, Monty? Guess what time it is? We just passed 20 minutes.
They had the vision up right there. They could have just pushed.
Oh, going in onto Che. Che's gonna flash, gets that black shield. So KT gets the summoner at least.
Wow, just an uncontested Dragon from Jin Air.
Yep.
Thanks to an overcommitment on that tower, trying to zone Pilot off, but they just weren't able to do it, and he was still clearing out the minion wave. Looked a bit confused there from KT, so they invested a lot into those deep wards on that side of the map and didn't actually turn it into a Dragon or any kills.
Yeah.
They're going to try and get the blue buff right now. Chaser playing a bit of a dangerous game.
Yeah, again. Oh, man. Is he getting caught again? There's the ult. There's a kill. That is Chaser's 4th death this game. It's an off day.
It really is.
Wow.
I mean, I don't even really know what to say at this point. They knew that the wards were there because they pushed in and tried to zone Pilot off the tower. They wouldn't have done that if they didn't have vision to know who was coming in, so they wouldn't get caught out in the enemy jungle.
I mean, I think Jin Air, honestly, has gotten a little bit lucky that most of the kills on Chaser have gone to score, actually. If those had gone to Nagne, Arrow, things might be a little bit more dangerous even.
I mean, I think that, I also think that KT is lucky that Chaser is keeping them in this game. I mean, Chaser
seriously.
obviously with a lot more farm right now, so he's not down too much in terms of gold, but
if KT wins this game, they should just give the MVP to Chaser. Be an awkward interview at the end, but
they've managed to just catch him out of position multiple times. But Chaser is just he knows. I mean, he should know the information that KT has, and he's making very poor decisions.
Yeah. Maybe he's got a cold or something. Who knows?
Now Trace going for the early home guards, so they really are playing for the late game. I mean, Jin Air just playing for pressure right now. They know when they're going to be the strongest.
Oh yeah, Pilot.
Get back to lane.
Pilot pick up that Bloodthirster too. Oh, Trace getting caught here, and he could be in a lot of trouble. Dark Binding misses. Nagne comes in to help Achani pick up that kill, and
he blew. Oh no, he didn't have his ult up right there. It just came back up, but no vision around. I mean, they have 2 sight stones, so they don't have any vision onto the Baron.
Well,
KT
you know,
trying to bait this.
When your jungler is dying so much, he doesn't have time to ward, you know?
GBM is not, he's so worried about this right now. Checking the brush.
Oh, GBM.
I like what we're seeing him do, though. He's playing it so conservatively.
He is. Oh, here we go. Che coming in. Lysandra over the wall. GBM gets away, gets ulted, though, manages to escape. They will lose Che, though. And KT just managing to get these picks. Wow.
All right, they're going to go onto the Baron right now, but here comes Trace.
This is very
with his
risky.
teleport home guard. Could be quite disastrous. I mean, KT really can't do this Baron right now.
Yeah. Trace coming in, home guard, got the black shield on him as well, too. Provides a pretty strong front line. Nagne, I was going to say, he nearly put himself in the position for an easy dark finding. Jin just going to take that mid lane turret, and they can go back and get some more vision around Baron as well, too, at this point.
Jin is actually doing a really good job of dealing with all of Chaser's mistakes this game. I mean, they prevented that Baron from going down. They had to face check it a little bit after Trace had died up in the top side as well. So, but you know, this is why Jin has been so consistent, though, is it seems like whenever somebody's having an off game, the rest of the team is able to pick it up, and they make good decisions when they're at a disadvantage, like we saw right there. Well, Pilot just going on to Arrow. Wow.
Corky on the attack and the flash. Wow.
Pilot. That's some big balls right there.
I think Arrow visited the wrong neighborhood there, and Corky just took him out.
Well,
flyby.
Was pretty confident there wasn't anybody else around there. Look at the vision they had over that side of the jungle, so he knew that Janna wasn't there, so he could just Valk right in. Arrow also standing on the Valk. That actually does an obscene amount of damage if you just stand on it like that, so a bit of a misposition right there from Arrow. You have to stay off the Valk fire trail if at all possible.
Pilot's got a pretty massive CS lead this game as well, too. He's 70 CS
that's a really
up on
good
Arrow.
point, actually.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until now. No wonder Pilot's pretty comfortable with that duel.
Yeah, had the Bloodthirster as well.
Yeah, he had that overshield, so he was in good shape. Yeah.
But we do see a more crit-reliant build coming in from Arrow with the Phantom Dancer. I'm not sure about that. KT in general doesn't have the strongest wave clear. Perhaps the Static Shiv may be a little bit of a better choice. Not going to clear out that pink ward right there. We do see the ward squad coming in from Jin
okay.
And they're going to push down this top tower now. They're going to get that one for free.
Oh, going in on a GBM under the turret. GBM taken down. Wow, what a catch.
Yeah, good play right there from KT. They knew the cleanse was down from the fight around Baron when he cleansed out of Nagne's ult. Last time, GBM not even able to use the Spirit Rush right there due to the speed of the Sivir ult. Someday pushing forward into the tier 2. Yeah, Chaser trying to get a flank right now. He will be seen as he goes through the Raptor Brush. Now onto the bottom side. They're not going to be able to get this, though.
Oh, I don't know. Trace coming in. Chaser coming in from behind.
Yeah, too much wave clear.
Yeah.
From Jin and the threat of the flank.
Well, suddenly, KT able to put some scary pressure on the map, and they do have a gold lead again. In fact, KT has double the kills that Jin has.
Yeah, but the fact that they don't have more of a gold lead and they haven't gotten a single dragon yet is worrisome. They're going to be able to get this one, however.
I would think so. Chaser, can he redeem himself with a Dragon Steel here? We'll see if he can. Oh, Dark Binding did connect, but no, the Dragon does go to KT after all.
No, you don't commit to that. Meanwhile, ping's going down on the tier 2. We do see GBM pushing that wave forward. They're going to try and delay these recalls. Oh, nice.
They did.
Very nice. They were recalling in a pink ward. What is KT doing?
I don't know. They were tormented by that soil, though.
Actually, that pink ward may have been placed down there. I actually didn't see when that was placed down, so possible that it was just put there. But
here comes Jin. They may have an angle on the Someday here.
Certainly do have an angle on the Someday. Yeah. Someday pretty far overextended.
Well,
he just used his teleport.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to come in. There's Equalizer going down, but it won't save Rumble. Meanwhile, Trace manages to be whisked to safety by the Dark Passage of Che.
Yeah, good play there from Jin to catch Someday out. They're going to have teleport advantage pretty darn soon. Blue buff will not be taken away. Trace gets low.
Nagne managed to pick up that blue buff.
GBM is going to finish his Zhonya's right now. That is a really important pickup for this Ahri.
Yep.
Gives him another way of dealing with Nagne. QSS also finished onto Pilot. This is where things start going south for KT in team fights. Too many ways to deal with the engage from KT Rolster means that Jin will have a lot of options and some pretty heavy survivability. Of course, Trace getting his. Zhonya's Hourglass will make it really, really difficult for KT to win team fights.
Yeah. He's getting there. He's already got his needlessly large rod. And really no reason to get the Seeker's Arm Guard first against this comp, so I do like the rod first. He's getting that bigger shield. Oh, Chaser tried to steal that with the Q, but couldn't quite get it.
They really want this tier 2 right now. They have zoned out multiple members of KT. Better poke, of course, but now we see score.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Nagne force ult himself as GBM comes in. Gets out on the Lantern again, though. And that's an ult out of the way. Whoa, score coming in big time. It gets taken down by Jin Air.
I don't know what Score was thinking right there.
That was a bit brave.
Without the Lissandra ultimate and Nagne already chunked out,
yeah.
The best follow-up option they were going to have was that equalizer, but even then, with the QSS and Zhonya's complete, you're not really going to get a lot of damage down without some more damage coming in from Nagne, so a bit of a missed engage right there from KT Rolster.
Yeah, I think they were just worried about the Baron, and Jin Air is trying to bait that right now. They get spotted by the Scrying Orb, but Jin Air with all the pressure on the map right now, bot lane pushing up, somebody's going to need to deal with that.
Yeah, just wait it out right now. It's just Jin Air patience.
They saw him going into that brush, I would imagine.
Yeah, they still don't really. They do know now that the Baron isn't being done after they put down a pink ward.
Whoa! Nagne over the wall, tries ult GBM, but GBM just uses that cleanse right away. Gets out. Nice poke coming in from Pilot in response as well.
Yeah, didn't have to use the cleanse in the last one because he forced Nagne to use it, and there's a tower going down ever so slowly thanks to the minions. Trace pushing forward as well, and Jin Air absolutely controlling the pace of this game. Look at beautiful play from GBM. Look at that.
Oh, that would have been a kill
right
if Nagne hadn't ulted.
Yep, and right there too, he just uses his last charge on the Spirit Rush to head on over to the Lantern and
score.
Just gets
So
charmed,
brave.
straight up charmed during his animation actually for Cataclysm. And so his Cataclysm, like it did go on cooldown right there as well, so jumping straight into a charm.
Oh well. Trying to make the plays, you know.
And GBM's Ahri is such a pleasure to watch.
I feel like we're saying that kind of thing about pretty much everything GBM is playing this season too.
Been very good on
Yep.
many champions.
KT, seeing if they can maybe poke their heads into River and see if they can get a little bit more vision back, but it's so scary right now for KT to go anywhere where they don't have vision because they know GBM could just be there and instantly kill them.
Yeah, they do have pink wards up, and they are making it a little bit dangerous for Jin Air. Jin Air a little bit underwarded at the moment. Trace is pushing down in the bottom side, but he's the one with teleport, so he can just continue to build that wave and threaten that inhibitor turret with minions. And look at that. Should be slowly pushing up as they wait for this dragon. 1 minute left would be number 3 for Jin Air, number 2 for KT, depending on who secures it.
And Trace paused for a moment to take down the Rift Scuttler, and it looks like KT is pushing up this mid lane.
This is really dangerous for KT.
Yeah, they could.
If Chaser gets a flank, it's going to be quite deadly. And you see
on to Hachani.
The Scrying Orb going in, but they don't know that. Okay.
That was so close.
That had hit Sunday. That could have been quite bad indeed.
Yeah, there was no spell shield. He was not expecting that one. Whoa, Pilot over the wall going in on Hachani. Hachani has to use his ult. Flash from Chaser though, but he misses the Q, and Jin Air should really just turn and focus on this dragon.
They've got him split up right now, so Hachani is going to find a way back in, though. Trace does have teleport, so he can, in fact, turn this around. We'll see if Trace actually gets his Zhonya's Hourglass right here as well. It's pretty important. Oh, he didn't actually recall.
Yeah, he canceled the recall. A little bit too much pressure in mid, and it looks like, for now, KT running up to the top lane to take out this tier 2.
Good rotations from KT Rolster.
Yeah, they should be able to get it.
Finding that minion wave and using it very effectively to get that tower and reclaiming a bit of a gold lead right here. Pilot still poking over the side. Not going to get too much damage down, however.
Yep. Got to be a little bit careful. Jin Air trying to take out this pink ward. GBM not with the team right now. Needs to get down here.
Bottom wave is not pushing towards the inhibitor of KT either, so they're not going to have that advantage. Now they're all piling into the mid. Someday trying to clear out this wave before anybody can get there. KT will be able to make it through the choke as Jin Air changes their mind a little bit, back to focusing on this dragon. And it looks like Jin Air should be able to get this drag.
Yeah, Corky's just soloing it right now, I believe. Yep. Yep, you can do that.
Nice.
Pilot's got the items.
Bloodthirster's a good item for doing things like that. And
I would agree.
there's number 3. So a tier 2 turret for yet another dragon in favor of Jin Air. No wards. They have to be so careful. Come on, double sight stones. Let's go. Just going to check the Baron right there. It's like nobody has any charges on their sight stones at the moment.
That does happen. Okay, so recall's coming in from KT. Jin Air a little bit too worried about going after that Baron, but they can push up mid and top lane now.
Very tactical game so far.
Corky's going wolf hunting from a helicopter. Isn't that illegal? I thought there were like laws against that. I don't know.
Isn't that thing that Sarah Palin does?
Maybe. I thought it was like illegal in a lot of places. But
maybe not in Alaska.
If you're in a helicopter, you're literally above the law. Yep.
What a cowardly thing to do, by the way. Wolf hunting from a helicopter.
Seriously. A deadly animal, the wolf. But it can't fly, so haha, bang, bang.
Have more respect for the wolf than that. Jeez.
Yeah. It's like we figured out a way to beat
you already have
wolf.
a gun. You have such an insane advantage as it is.
Yeah. But it's easier if you have a gun and fly. Wow. It's like if you go fishing, but you just like throw the fish into an open parking lot. You're like, whoa, it's really easy now.
Fishing with hand grenades.
It's kind of just flopping around. Yep. Pretty much. It's like underwater chicken hunting. Chickens don't put up much of a fight underwater.
Well, Jin Air finally looking like they're going to sweep out this Baron pit. They have had a vision disadvantage for most of the game so far around that objective. It's been a little bit lackluster.
It's a lot of it's been Chaser too, you know, just getting caught, not being able to put out wards. It's been awkward. It has been awkward. GBM, they're going to come in and try to catch him, but they can't quite do it.
Oh,
His
shield. The Spirit Rush right there.
I guess so, yeah.
And now everybody trying to reposition before this tower goes down in the mid lane, and only Pilot there. They're going to lose this one.
Yeah, I think they are. Wow.
KT just playing the map much better this time around. Dark Binding's not going to land. Just really good rotations from KT, finding the weak points and abusing the fact that they have that vision around Baron to continue to make plays around the turrets. That's been the story of this game. KT has vision. Jin Air has to clear it out, or at least check the Baron, and every time that happens, they're able to get another tower. I didn't think they'd be able to get an inhibitor turret off of that.
They're going to come in on this. Someday looking for an opportunity. There's a Cataclysm. There's the Equalizer. GBM on the outside of the fight, though. Pilot managing to do some damage. Trace has to ult right away. Nagne ults himself. There goes Trace. 2 kills from KT coming in. Pilot getting caught, trying to get back away, trying to do damage. Manages to dodge the flag and drag. Nagne using that zone use. It's all up to GBM and Pilot now, and they might be able to turn this one around. Can they do it?
GBM has another charge right there. Dodges the boomerang blade. And wow. Nagne actually played that team fight extremely well.
Yeah, he did.
He used his ult on himself right as the Soul Shackles were about to trigger, and then baited out with the Zonias right after that. So we see this kind of GBM does not have his ult for the start of this fight. They used the Black Shield on him anyway, but not going to be too effective. Here we go. Watch Nagne right here. Great job with his ultimate. There's the Chilling Smite down onto Trace, and then you'll see him come back in, try and deal some more damage, and then uses Zonia's right there. Doesn't get a whole lot of damage out of that Orb of Deception. Does eventually die, but GBM and Pilot would have turned around that fight much harder if Nagne hadn't used his abilities in such a excellent, really, manner.
As it was in the end, GBM and Pilot did live, and they were able to take out the tier 2 turret as well. So even though they lost the fight, quote unquote, 2-3, they still got the objective. So still coming out, I'd say, a little bit ahead. They need that too. They need those objectives right now.
Yeah. 'Tis true.
Well, this game has ended up being much closer than I thought it was going to be, and much closer than a lot of KT games end up being. And you see sometimes what happens if just one person on your team is underperforming a little bit.
Well, yeah. It's still, I think, in spite of the fact that there is that Locket on the side of KT, and we are dealing with majority AP damage. Still no Locket on Jin Air, despite the double AP composition. The Lysandra, once you, like I said, once you get enough QSSs and Zhonya's, really, she does have a hard time doing much at all in team fights, but they're getting the catches, and they are playing the map better. Now they're putting pressure down onto the naked inhibitor of Jin Air. And Jin Air's been caught out. They've been underwarded. They haven't been able to have the control, so KT has been dictating the tempo of this game so far.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job taking advantage of the issues that Jin Air's been having.
Jin Air now, though, with that Scuttler up and with some good deep wards around the Baron, is going to feel much more confident about pushing out into this mid lane. They don't have to face check it.
The other thing too is Pilot and GBM have been playing so well this game.
Yes, they have.
Too. They have been pretty much hard carrying. Chaser over the wall. Lantern there again, just in case. There's the Sivir ultimate. They're going to turn around on this one. They're going to try. They catch Chaser again. He's going to get taken out. There comes Equalizer. Pilot, GBM still in a good position. There goes Nagne. GBM into the back lines. Push back by Achani. Meanwhile, Pilot pours the damage onto the other side of the fight. Gets away. There's a double kill for him. GBM still going strong as well. Low health, but he's got that mobility. They're going to push KT back 3 for 2. So again, Jin Air loses more people, but GBM and Pilot, the last one standing, and they're enough.
And wow, if Jin Air wins this game, it really is going to be in spite of Chaser, who is playing way too aggressively when you know the Sivir ult is up and that there's this Lysandra ultimate coming for your face as well. He does have the Banshee's Veil, but you have to play the periphery a little bit smarter. Wait for GBM and
Pilot get this dragon. Oh, well, Achani and Arrow right there. Pilot can escape, but
well, I mean, I don't think anybody could really do the dragon right now. There are 2 teleports up. It is actually, they're just going to recall. Are they going to give up this dragon? Will be number 4. Kind of a dangerous thing to hand over. And no, Pilot's not going to be doing that.
They scared
him
away.
There are pings right now onto the Baron from KT Rolster. They may try and make a trade right here. I don't think this is a smart trade to make, however.
Well, yeah, you're going to give Jin Air that 5 dragon pressure if you let him get to that 4 dragon point, you know? From now on, KT needs to not allow a single dragon, and I guess that's what they're going to do. All right.
But, I mean, Jin Air, they're a little bit too late, so KT will have to fight Jin Air for this Baron buff. They can't do it very quickly.
Here we go. Trace is there.
Just flash in.
Dark Binding. He stole it!
He stole it with the Dark Binding!
No way!
My.
What a play from Trace, and score. Smite still up. What happened there?
Wow, you know, that play right there makes up for the games that Jin Air actually lost due to, you know, having dragons smited away from them, or, you know, the inhibitor respawning. They've lost some freak games. It's about time things went in Jin Air's favor, so Trace gets a bit lucky, manages to steal that Baron, and here we
coming
go.
In, a lot of damage, nearly takes out Nagne. Nagne ults himself. GBM with the Zhonya's back over the wall yet again. Score taking a lot of hits as well. More pressure coming in from Jin Air. They've got that 4th dragon. They've got that Baron buff thanks to the steal from Trace. And yeah, Someday needs to be careful.
Wow, a lot of poke coming in. They're not able to push it, though, thanks to some good play by Arrow, zoning out and poking with the boomerang blade, hitting Pilot, getting him a bit too low for comfort.
You know,
and so they're going to try their luck in a different place. Aggressive engage right there from GBM. Oh, my, I can't believe. Oh, he missed the smite. Just barely score. And wow, Trace is the hero that Chaser needs right now.
No kidding. I mean, you know, sometimes you win because of your teammates, and sometimes you win in despite of your teammates. Despite your teammates. Can they save this inhibitor, though? It's still a lot of pressure. GBM gets jumped on by Score. They're going to grab Someday and pull him in. The inhibitor will go down in favor of KT, but how many will they lose on the retreat with that Sivir ultimate, though? It looks like KT can get out clean.
Yeah, they are able to get out. Baron buff still for Jin Air, though. We'll see if they try and push this advantage at all, or if they're going to wait patiently for the next dragon to come up and try and close the game that way. Massive minion wave in the bottom side, but Jin Air just going to continue pressing forward. They want to force somebody to go for that minion wave, and in the meantime use their Baron buff to try and trade for an inhibitor. It's like Arrow will be going down. GBM zipping down mid lane right now, trying to put the pressure on, but not enough people from Jin Air yet to convincingly siege, so that minion wave is probably going to go to waste.
Yeah.
That will very easily cleared out. Jay a little bit early on the hook right there.
Looks like Jenner's going to try to put some pressure.
They want a split push.
Onto that bot lane too. And there's that cannon minion outranging the turret because of the Baron buff.
It's just so annoying, and because of KT's composition, the only thing they can do to get rid of that cannon minion is throw boomerang blades at it, and that's not very ideal.
Chani getting poked at GBM. You can't get that close. Oh, this is going to be another one. Oh, score gets away just in time, but they're going to lose this inhibitor. Nagne in a lot of trouble. He dodges the charm, but this inhibitor will end up getting taken out by the Jenner Green Wings. Doesn't take a lot for GBM to get a kill. And so Jenner able to put that Baron buff to use, equalizing with the inhibitors in mid.
And then the next dragon will come in. Jenner should be able to maintain the mid lane pressure as we see them clearing out the side waves, at least for the moment.
Yep.
So by the time this wave reverses all the way back down towards KT's base, that should be about the time that we see the dragon respawning.
This has been such a crazy game too. Remember, this game began with Chani getting killed at level 1 before the game really even started.
It's been a weird one. I mean, you do have to give some props to KT for, after how lifeless they looked in the last week, this game they've actually been making very good decisions and capitalizing on Jenner's mistakes.
Yeah.
They've had superior vision control throughout the mid game. They've been able to get some really good rotations in and take numerous uncontested turrets from Jenner. So they do deserve props, but a lot of it has come at Chaser just making some really poor decisions.
7 deaths this game. I can't remember the last time I saw something like that.
He's 7 out of his team's 11 deaths.
Yeah.
That's not just being the tank. That's just straight up getting caught out in places you should not be.
Yeah. Yeah, less than stellar game for Chaser. He's going to have to try to shake this one off no matter who wins game 1. Even if you win as Jenner, Chaser's not going to feel good about this one.
Definitely a bit of an off day for him.
Yeah.
Or at least an off game. We'll see if he can bounce back. But that said, GBM and Pilot have been playing really well to compensate in these team fights. I mean, they've basically been trying to fight 4v5 for most of this game, and coming out approximately even is a pretty Herculean effort from the carries on this team.
Well, that's one of the things that really makes Jenner a good team, is that even when Chaser has a really off game like he is, that GBM and Pilot can step up and just play that much better, you know?
Well, it's also partially due to their drafting. I mean, they had a game plan against this Lissandra, so because of their good picks right here and their excellent itemization, they're able to make this work.
True enough. Wow, Jenner just going right down the middle.
Yeah, they want to get the pressure advantage. They desperately want this 5th dragon.
Yeah. Can KT fight this? I don't know. They'll have to do it perfectly if they want to. Jenner coming in, and Arrow managed to spell shield. They're not going to get to grab him. Grab didn't quite connect anyway. Jenner coming in. Dragon is alive. This would be the 5th dragon. KT cannot allow this one to be taken by the Jenner Green Wings.
I mean, Chaser, he just needs to kick somebody out of the fight.
Yeah.
Just not worry about the engage. Just let KT engage. That's what their comp is meant to do. And then just kick somebody out, get the box down, and continue poking and kiting.
We know he's
no need to get the flank here. There is really no need for him to be separated from the rest of his team in these team fights.
He's probably raging right now, but all we need is a Dragon's Rage. That's the only kind that Jenner wants out of Chaser right now. Dragon pulled back a little bit. Jenner hesitant to go in.
I mean, Jenner has pressure on the Nexus right now. They have 2 super minions, so I mean,
wow.
KT has to make a move. Here we go. There's the Sivir ultimate.
Yep, coming in. Pilot trying to get away. There's a huge Cataclysm. Big Equalizer coming through as well. GBM and Pilot, though, get out to the outside. Trace pops at Zonia's right away. Zonia's for Someday. Yeah, good disengage from Jenner to get back into position. Someday in a lot of trouble. Chaser may get taken out. Nagne pops at Zonia's as well. Sivir gets the kill onto Chaser. Oh, but Pilot, Phosphorus Bomb takes down Score. Both junglers out of commission. And looks like KT may need to just back away, as does Jenner.
I don't know. They still have a lot of hope right here. So this will be the first dragon of the game for KT. Someday going back and clearing out the waves. Wow, KT had to make that engage work, and they actually managed to pull it off.
That was a 4-man Cataclysm for score. That was pretty sick.
You saw GBM and Pilot get out of it immediately, and then Trace make the right decision. Look at how Jin Air fights this. They're going to clog the choke, but a lot of early, actually pretty much no damage going out of that. Nagne finds Che on the outside. Che a little bit mispositioned right here. And so GBM, I think this is an overcommitment to Someday. Because if he had stayed right there and they could have kept on clogging the choke, GBM should not have actually Spirit Rushed over the wall. They had enough poke to make it very difficult for KT to follow up on that engage. And considering they took virtually no damage from that Cataclysm, they could have there was no more engage after that. So if Jin Air had been a little bit more patient, I think that was the wrong decision from Dank by Mom.
Here we go again. KT making the decision to go after the Baron. And Jin Air does not seem to be aware this is going on.
Well, they're aware. They just can't. They're not in position to stop it. So they're going to have to give that one up. Now they have to wait out the Baron buff. They lost.
Yeah, they had no vision at all there.
Wow, I'm really surprised. Jin Air falling apart in these team fights a little bit right now. They should know their win conditions. If the Sivir ults and the Cataclysm and the Equalizer are down, and you take no damage from that, there is no reason to engage. Stay there, keep poking, make sure KT doesn't pick up that dragon. Instead, they overcommit with the Spirit Rush.
Yeah, it does seem like Jin Air's just a little bit shaken by everything that's gone on in this game.
You just collapse on Nagne right there.
Here we go. Coming in. A lot of Banshee's Veils on both sides right now.
Well, it's a Banshee's Veil, an ideal item if you want to deal with this Thresh. And you know what? This Thresh really hasn't done much. I would have rather seen the Nami. I think that is actually kind of proving problematic at this stage of the game. That will go down again.
All right. No resistance there from Jin Air. That Baron buff for KT, pretty strong.
Inhibitor advantage right now for KT. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do much more with this, but that may be enough. Arrow actually having his first great game in a while.
Yeah.
Been very good, and considering especially that he's been the only wave clear really on his team, or long-range wave clear besides an Equalizer. He's been in the right place to defend a lot of these towers. So certainly stepping up in a way that we haven't seen in a while, but Pilot proving his equal here.
Yeah, Chaser still 3/4 of his team's deaths. Pretty rough. Or, no, it's about half, but yeah, about 57% or so. My math is not good. I did not major in mathematics. I did the opposite.
So here we go. Jin Air trying to defend right now. The wave is not so pressed up in the mid lane, so we'll be able to hold on to this for some time. So there we are, just trying to pull that pink ward. I'm sure why they are really concerned about that right now.
Oh, grab on the score. Can they turn this into a kill? Dark Binding as well. Whirlwind comes in for zoning, and that does help Score escape. That turret in a lot of trouble. Arrow taking some damage from the turret laser. Pilot getting out in front. He's got to be really careful. That ward is almost like bait for a kill onto the AD carry.
All right, they sent Lee Sin back to take care of the wave.
Yeah.
So all of the poke, all of the wave clear will be staying at this turret as it does get very low, however, and they're not going to be able to defend it.
Yep. Oh, KT continuing to push into the base of Jin Air. They're going to go after their second inhibitor now. Jin Air in a lot of trouble here. This game is still very close, but KT with the edge right now. Baron buff is gone, though.
Well, that's
a little bit too late now.
Jin Air doesn't want to be in this position. They want to be counter-engaging. They don't want to have to engage themselves. Arrow out in front, but he actually does get his spell shield popped by this Foxfire.
Yep. Oh, there goes the inhibitor. Jin Air can't stop it. KT gets another one. Poised to maybe win this game.
Yeah, KT. I mean, they won all the small victories, and had there not been quite so much pressure on these inhibitors, Jin Air may have been able to pull this one out a little bit easier, but they did get out-rotated by KT in the mid-game, lose a lot of their defenses, and they're not very well built for engaging against a team with this many Banshee's Veils. They want to kite, not engage themselves.
Yeah, I really do feel again, too, like if Chaser hadn't had such a dismal first half of the game, this would be a much different situation right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Very un-Chaser-like errors coming out in this game.
Report Lee Sin beating. Report 9X.
Yeah, not his best game, that's for sure. Yeah. And what do you do at this point? So many Veils. Absorbing the hooks, absorbing the dark bindings. You pretty much have to clear them with missiles or orbs of deception in order to get the preferential pick, but Arrow with the double spell shield is going to be quite the menace. Nagne with the spell shield and Zhonya's Hourglass as well. You can see Pilot right there trying to clear that last shield off of Lissandra.
I mean, that is one nice thing. Score, Kiwo, Score comes over the wall here. GBM, the knockups. He gets out, takes a lot of damage. Chaser safeguards away to him as well, too. It's all about killing GBM, but they'll settle for Chaser yet again. Why not? Seems easy. And now going for the dragon again. Jynera is going to be denied that 5th dragon once more.
Yeah, they can't really do anything about it. They just have to keep holding on to these waves and try and save their base at this stage. There's nothing really Chaser could do now either. At this point, it's not Chaser's fault that he's dying because he just gets locked up by the Lissandra ultimate and focused every time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there really isn't much more he can do.
Well, it's so important, too, actually, for KT to keep picking on him. If they can put him on tilt for next game as well, too, that's a really nice thing in their favor.
That it is. That it is. Yeah. It's going to be trying to build, looks like Randuin's next. And Jynera trying to play this patient style. We're nearly an hour into this one already.
Yep, I feel like this is becoming a trend with Jynera now.
Well, Jynera's just playing well from behind. That's the thing.
They always do.
They made it so difficult for KT to close, even with some pretty insane advantages in terms of inhibitors and.
Yep. You're never going to get that through that many Banshee's Veils. Ugh. Wow. And even with Trey stealing that Baron with Dark Binding, it's just not enough.
That was
for
another
Jynera.
thing. This game would be over a lot sooner had Trace not been able to take that objective up.
True. Mid inhibitor back up for now, for the moment anyway. And now it's going to be back down.
Now also, KT, now with the Lockets and this much MR, it's really hard for Jynera to poke them out. They're entirely reliant on their AP for poke damage, and you can see how little effect it is having.
Well, they managed to keep their inhibitor alive for now. Baron up in about 5 seconds at this point. Jynera pushing back down the mid lane. They could get backdoored and lose that inhibitor very, very quickly. There's a flash. There's a Cataclysm coming in from Score. Box used, though. They're going to kick Score out. Everyone onto Pilot, though. Jynera disengaging nicely. Someday still gets a kill, but there's one for Pilot as well. Jynera, can they turn? Nagne did go down. Yeah.
Well, somebody has to go defend this inhibitor, it looks like.
Jynera may be able to grab a Baron off of this. Oh, Score coming in again, gets flayed by Che, gets death sentence as well. They're going to bring GBM in to try to get some kills. Valk over the wall from Pilot, gets the kill onto Hachani. Teleport coming in now for Someday. He came back really quick, but now these turrets back home, and oh man, they can't go for that Baron.
I don't know if they actually have to defend this. Looks like the lasers actually going to take care of that. They can, in fact, contest this. It looks like the minion waves will deal with it for them, and they pushed out the mid, so.
Milling around right now, a lot of time before Nagne and Hachani come back.
Okay, they don't see Jynera right here.
Yep.
Now they see him.
Yeah.
There's the Baron activation. Arrow going to take a little bit of damage. They actually don't really have to defend this, but Chaser is going to go back and deal with it anyway. Actually, he's not. He's just going to go there and Tempest cripple and then walk out. Okay, whatever.
Alrighty. Hey, man, he is huge with that Iron Elixir. He has no fears, except for the 9 deaths that he's had this game. All right, so Jynera, Nagne up 5. And can they make anything happen here? GBM looking for a possible pick, and Jynera turning around. Are they crazy enough to try this Baron? They are. They're doing it. They're doing it. They've got some time till Nagne gets there. Can they get it down in time, though? Trace with the Black Shield. Can they actually take it? Score in position. They're going to turn. GBM coming in. Zonius immediately needs his team to catch up here. Gets out before the knockup. Oh, but he gets caught with the Cataclysm. A kill coming in for Someday. Gets kicked back to the Baron pit, but there goes Pilot. Wow, look at that. A perfect ace from KT. This one is over.
And Jin Air, not sure why they wanted that Baron so badly.
I don't know.
Their engagement, they needed those abilities to get out of the Cataclysm and the Equalizer. They handed KT exactly the fight that they wanted, and KT Rolster looking like they're going to come away with a win in this one.
Wow.
I mean, Jin Air, I feel, did everything they could to deal with Chaser's incredibly poor early game, but KT able to out-rotate them on the map, had that vision advantage, and played it out, capitalizing on Jin Air's mistakes.
That's right, Chaser the anti-carry in this game, and in the end, KT with probably the best play we've seen from them so far this season. That's going to get them the win in Game 1. GG.
They really did look a lot more decisive in that game than their match against Jin Air. And
yeah, they look good.
in particular actually had some pretty important team fighting. Also, Arrow stepping up 10-1-9, really being the hard carry that his team needed. It's another hour-long game for Jin Air, but they can't fight back from that early deficit. And that'll be Trace's first loss on Top Morgana.
Yeah. I wouldn't really say it's his fault, though. That's for sure.
No.
He had a good game.
He did what he could.
Yeah.
But in the end, also, all of those Banshee's Veils coming in meant that the poke damage just wasn't there for Jin Air. See if they can bounce back and turn this series around, or if KT could come out with a very surprising 2-0. Score again, doing a lot of work for his team that game. That his contributions really can't be undervalued.
Well, if Jin Air's only losses in the last, month or so are to IM, and if it becomes IM and KT, it's a little bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah, very odd that they
very
can take out some of the top teams like SKT and CJ 2-0 and then fall down 2-1. So Jin Air has to turn things around.
Both times, though, it really was the same thing. I mean, at first, Che was having a terrible game against IM, then they got cocky, and this game, Chaser, with probably the worst performance we've seen on him yet. When we come back, can KT get the 2-0, or will Jin Air tie it up? Don't go anywhere, guys.